Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're going to be playing Phisto Fortress II. Whenever I come across a Blobz puzzle that us mere mortals can actually solve, as in it's 1-star or 2-star, I always get a little bit excited. Blobz creates fantastic puzzles, it's just normally they're a little bit too difficult to actually feature on this channel. So really looking forward to this. If you do enjoy it, bear in mind it says in the title very clearly, Phisto Fortress 2. The implication is there is a Phisto Fortress 1. So do let me know if you enjoy it, and then I'll make a plan to feature it in the next week or so. Anyway, let's take a look at today's puzzle and rule set with Phisto Fortress 2 by Blobz. So, this is about fortress cells. There's clearly a reference here, given the title, to the Phisto ring, as well as the fact that this is the only thing that is not covered by fog. So if this actually proves to be useful, and it's highly likely that it will be, I will talk about the Phisto a little bit later as part of the solve. Right, rules-wise first. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Digits in fortress cells are smaller than all the digits in orthogonally adjacent non-fortress cells. We've got German whispers and we've got fog. If you know what all of that means, you know what to do. Link in the description down below for you to play. On the off chance that you don't, normal Sudoku, place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, every 3x3 box, and of course without any repeats, once each. Digits in a fortress cell are smaller than all the digits in orthogonally adjacent non-fortress cells. And really the greater than, less than symbol should give you the clue around the direction. So if this cell is a 2, in essence, these orthogonally adjacent non-fortress cells have to be bigger. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's essentially the rule. It'll be very awkward if we've got something that's like a 7. It means that would have to be something like an 8, 9 pair, but possible. What else do we know? Along a green line, adjacent digits differ by at least 5. So if this cell is a 2, these two cells would have to be 7, 8, or 9, essentially so that they're 5 or more away. If this cell was an 8, for example, this cell would have to be 1, 2, 3, or 4. I can actually repeat it because it's in a different row and column and box from the 2 over there. Actually, it's not 4. To be 5 or more away from the 8. Last thing that's fairly obvious, the grid is partially covered by fog, and placing a correct digit will clear the fog surrounding will clear the surrounding fog, possibly revealing more clues. So if this 2 was correct, then essentially all of these fog cells that are near it will be revealed and hopefully gives us some more information to proceed with the solve. So, as always, to play along, links in the description down below for you to do so. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock and see how I get on. Now, I'm going to state something fairly obvious. I'm sure all of you have seen it pretty much instantly with the setup that we have here. What this is telling me is that with this Phisto ring that's surrounding box 5, is that all of these digits, given the greater than symbol, all of them have to be greater than all of these digits. Now this would be very awkward if one of them is a 1, for example, because I'm not going to be able to place a 0. That is not allowed under normal Sudoku rule. So the only place for a 1 in box 5 is in here. And we get another German whisper line. I will color these, of course, as blues and reds. Blue being a low digit of 1, 2, 3, 4. Reds being a high digit of 6, 7, 8, 9. We can probably keep going. He says. Let's use some false colors on there. We know that it oscillates between high digits, low digits, high digits. So essentially, these cells are all going to be the same polarity, purple. These cells are going to all be the same polarity, orange. Now, the fortress setup intuitively will tell us that these are highs. And I think, yes, intuitively that's correct, because if these two cells are high, it's not necessarily a problem, other than the fact I've used 3 highs already in box 5. So if these cells, even if I go for an extremely low high digit, like a 6, for example, and a double 1, still means I need 7, 8, or 9 in here, and then I've ended up with 5 high digits in box 5. So that's clearly nonsense, meaning that purple has to be low, orange has to be high, and these are clearly not ones. I also know that this middle digit cannot be 9 because otherwise it wouldn't be greater than. As in, there couldn't be a digit that's higher than it. That's what I meant to say. So these are 7 or 8. It can't be a 6, of course, because if it is a 6, that would require a double 1 in the same row, and it would conflict with this one. So no 6s, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, not a 1 here, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, not a 1 here again. And then this digit has to be bigger. It has to be 8 or 9 to be bigger than the 7 or 8, and actually tells us it's 7, because if we do some Sudoku in parallel, well, this cell also has to be bigger than 7 or 8. Well, it's 8 or 9. I end up with an 8-9 pair. That's got to be 7. And the same logic applies in here with an 8-9 pair. And that tells me that's got to be 7. That means these are not 3s. They're too close to the 7. And since that can't be the 1, that's the 2, that's the 1, that's the 2. Fantastic. We have a phenomenal break-in. Here we've got 1 and 2. Looking at this German whisper line, this will have to be 3. Obviously, it's a low digit. It can't be a 4, otherwise it would be double 9. So that's 3, that's 8, 9. And actually, oh, no, it's not a low digit. It doesn't have to be. Just need to be very careful about the fact the Phisto ring is also blue, so I can't make that mistake. And oh, yeah. So we thought about the 1 in box 5. The question that is very topical now is, what is the 2? Because these can't be 2. If I place a 2 in one of these 3 remaining cells, it means that the neighbors in the fortress have to be 1s. And that doesn't work. And that doesn't work. So the only place for a 2 is in here, which gives me a double 1, because they have to be lower than the 2. Now this cell, if it is low, because I've got 1, 2, and 3 in the column, it would have to be 4, which would force a 9 in here, and then I would have to place 10s. So that is definitely high. That is clearly high, given this is low. And we've got largely, I say largely, the Sudoku that we need. Actually, here's another one. Obviously, this is going to be a high because it's got to be higher than this one. I can't have a low digit, so that's high. These are lows. These are highs. It's always great when you can get the polarity fairly quickly. And because this is a high digit, as is this cell, and it's at least a 6, these cells can't be 6 anymore. They're 7, 8, 9, and one of them is actually definitely a 7 because I've got an 8, 9 in here. So these cells are actually not that big. I mean, they're 6, 7, or 8. That part is obvious. And then we've got another 7, 8, or 9 in here. This cell is not 1 or 2, it's 3 or 4. Again, this is, well, this could be 2, 3, or 4. No, it can't be because this is smaller and it would have to be 1, which isn't available. So that would be 2. That would be 2 because this would be 3, 4. Yes. 3, 4 pair tells me that is not a 7. It can't be. Seem to have exhausted the logic that's available to us there. This cell, because it can't be a 1, tells me it's not a 6. And if it's not a 6, that is not a 7. That's an 8, 9 pair. That is a 7. That is a 6. And again, the same logic that we use with the 8, 9 pairs, we can do again here. This is another 8, 9. That has to be a 7, given we use the 8, 9 pair. That's a 7. The neighbor now has to be 2. These are once again 3, 4 pairs because of the German whisper line. Therefore, because there is a 4, I don't know why I didn't notice it before, they both have to be 9s. And we're left with, up here, 5, 6, 8. And we're left here with 5, 7, 8. The 9, of course, gave me an 8, gave me a 9. If I can type, 8, 9, 8. 8s, you can see now, gives me another 8. No 8s. In fact, I can just resolve it. 7, 5, and 7. Am I as lucky up here? Yes. I get another 8. Not the 5 and 6. They're not resolved. Nor the 3s and 4s. In fact, we do actually end up with, because this is a 2. Oh, never mind. Sorry, I was going there thinking that this is 3, 4 pair, but no. Well, we do need to place a 6, and a 6 is not here. Yeah, but it's still 3, 4, or 5. So what are these cells? This is 4, 5, 6. Just to complete the column, I know, doing Sudoku. Incredible. Again, not 5. So this is 3, 4, 6. It can't be a 3 because this is not 1, 2, or 3. This is at least a 4. So this has to be 6. This has to be 4. Then I end up with a 3, 5 pair in here. The 3 would have to be bigger than a 1 or 2, which is not available. So that's the 5. That's the 3. That 4 gave me 3 and 4. 4 I can type. 3 gave me 4 and 3. 5 gave me 6 and 5. I mean, that is absolutely incredible typing skills there today. This is a 1. I need to wrap up with 4, 5. They both actually work under the 6, so not hugely helpful. And these are 6, 3, 6, 9. The only thing I can do is eliminate the 3 because it's not... Oh, hang on, sorry. The only thing I can do is place a 3 because it has to be smaller than the 5, sorry. Senior moment there. That's a 1. This is 4, 5 pair. Both bigger than 2, and the 6 and 9 both bigger than 3, so not hugely helpful there. We're almost running out of the usefulness of this fortress ring. We haven't really thought about these German whisper lines, so that may be next. I say that may be next. I should really do some Sudoku. Let's do some Sudoku whilst focusing on these fortress rings. So it's not 1, 2, or 3. This is at least a 4. Of course, it could be 5. It could be 6. It can't be 7. I think 8 would be too big because both of these would have to be double 9. So 4, 5, 6 in this one. Not brilliant. 1, 2, both available. 3 available. 4 available. 5 available. 6 and 7 not available. 8 and 9, well, are problematic, of course. 1, 2, again, 3, 4, 5, same logic. 6, 7, and then 8 is again too big. Not going too well. They're very low digits, these, so it's not hugely helpful. And this 1 basically gives me no information given everything in that box is bigger. So actually not too sure where to go next. This requires a high digit, which given 1 and 2 are not available. There's definitely a low digit between these two, in the sense that even if I use one of them as a 5, the other one is a low digit, and actually definitely one of them has to be a 5 because I have to reserve one of the 3 4s in here. And the 3 and 4 is not this cell, it's this cell. And this can't be 9, so it can't be 4, so that's 3, that's 8, there is no 3, that's a 4, 5 pair. Not helpful because, of course, the 8 is bigger than the options, as is the 9. There is no 1, no 1, in fact, no 1 and 6. No 1 and 6, so that's a 1, 6 pair. No 2, so there's a definite 2 in here. These 4, 5s are the same, so not hugely helpful, other than there's another one in there. And then I have 2, 4, 5, 7, 9. I'm not going to pencil mark that. Any more lovely Sudokus like that one? 8. These two cells are not low. They're high digits, 6 and 9. Can't have a 1 because I've used it, so that's not a 6, that's a 9, that's a 6. I can type, I really can. This is 2 or 3, it can't be a 4 because that would be another 9. That 9, of course, gave me 6 and 9 up here. And this is a high digit that is 7 or 8. For the moment, both are options if this is a 2. It's not a 3, so it's definitely a 2. And no 3, no 3, no 3, that's a 3. I really can make Sudoku look difficult sometimes. 4, 5, 7, 8. Yeah, that's not helpful. No 9s, no 9, is a 9. 6 is not here. 6 is in one of these two cells. I mean, that can absolutely be the 6, and this could be an 8 because 7 and 9 are not available. But, I mean, bit of a stretch. I'll show you anyway. If that's 6, well, this would have to be 7 or 8. So would this cell, except neither of them could be 7s. So it'd have to be a double 8 because the 9 is not available. So that is not the 6. That is the 6. And that's 4 or 5. Then down here, I have 4, 5, and 8. That's not the 8. That is the 8. That's the 4 or 5. I don't know what just happened. That's the 7. That's another 4, 5. And therefore, that's a known digit of 7. And then there's another 4, 5, a 2, and a 9. Not remotely helpful. And we can pencil mark these. So I have 2, 3, and 8 seemingly. Not 8, not 3, not 2. There's of course another 4, 5, but more importantly, there's a 1 which can only be up here. A 7 which can only... So that's a 1, 7 pair. That's another 4, 5, which has to be bigger than the fortress cell. So that's 4, that's 5. That's 3 as a result. That gives me 8 over here, 2 and 3. 1, 7 are not resolved. Excuse me. Everything in the column is bigger because we've used already 1 and 2. So not helpful. In the row, everything in the row is bigger. So again, not helpful. This is 6, 9, however. Sudoku says that's 9, that's 6, that's 1, that's 6. I do need a 9 in here, and that's the only place left for it. And then this is either 2, 4, or this is 2, 5. Lovely. In the column, I need another 4, 5. So 4 and 5 plus something else. And 8, which can only be in here. So 4, 5, 4, 5. That didn't help. 2, 4. Surely, yes. 5, 4, 5. Lovely. The 1 and 7, still not. I do need a 2. Can only be in here. I need a 3, which can only be... I've already got a 3. I need a 1, which can only be there. That gives me 7 and 1. That gives me 7 again. And if I've not made any mistakes, 5 for the finish. Fantastic puzzle, Blobz. I'm not sure I entirely agree with the 2-star difficulty rating. And turns out you didn't need the Phisto ring, which, just short summary, since it wasn't needed, is these cells, their digits are going to be the ones exactly these ones. Like, they'll be a perfect match. I hope you guys enjoyed the puzzle and the video. I'm sorry it's a little bit late today. Mrs. Sleuth is away, but better late than never. See you back soon. Bye-bye for now.